Jay Haleem.
What up?
Here with Jay Haleem. So if you guys, we're connecting to our Facebook over here. So, but yeah, so we just wanted to come on and you'll definitely be seeing us more live. Also, this is our first YouTube live from this channel. So we're excited to be here, excited to engage with you all. We are people that love comments and conversation. So even after this stream and this broadcast is over, if there's something that you heard us say that you want us to dig more into, continue to keep the conversation going in the comments. So we're excited to be here. I see we have a couple of viewers. If you are on, just come on and say hello to us and let us know how you're doing and how things are going in your neck of the woods. Thank you guys so much for being here and being a part of our conversation. We love it. I
Right, so
see.
now get past all of the pleasantries. What up, y'all? This is our first YouTube live on the S.T.A.R.V.E Talk page. If you don't know what S.T.A.R.V.E Talk represents, S.T.A.R.V.E, as you can see, if you look in the description, is an acronym, stands for Stand Tall and Reclaim Victory Every Day. This started as just a podcast that I did individually and has grown to something else. And now we have Sister Sims, as I call her, but Tamika L. Sims, please say the L. In here, if you follow anything I'm doing, you know this is my partner in crime. We riding around the whole state doing what we do. So today we thought it'd be the best time to start off answering some questions, talking about something that I put out a post but last week now,
Yeah.
and everybody was talking about Eboni K Williams. And I chimed in, and it got a lot of people commenting, which was great. You know, good, bad, or indifferent is good. The engagement was cool, and we wanted to answer some questions and get some direct, correlation from me to you guys. And we open up the floor. People can comment, say what they need to say, ask questions. We can answer it directly. We just we try to be civilized. You know what I'm saying? Let's try to do that. And we want to respect you guys, and we ask for the same. We don't know because we know how YouTube can get, but we're going to do what we're supposed to do,
Right.
and we'll see what happens with everybody else. But we're excited about it, and we're going to continue to do this as well for my people on the S.T.A.R.V.E Talk Facebook page. Shout out to you guys, for chiming in, and please share this. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Again, youtube.com/S.T.A.R.V.E Talk. You can just go ahead and, if you're on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. And hit the notification button because we're putting out videos every single day. We record multiple times a day. So keep informed and follow what we're doing and see how we can interact.
Thank you. So I see Stephen checking in the comments. Hey, Stephen, how are you on today? So
What
I'm
up,
looking.
dude?
I'm looking at Facebook as well. So yeah. So you guys, if you are not familiar with Eboni K Williams, there's this clip put out about her from a portion of her interview with Iyanla Van Zant. And Iyanla asked her a question during that conversation, and she said, "Would you date a bus driver?" And then Ebony's comment was, "If he owned the bus." So of course, Jay is unafraid to tackle subjects and topics that most people may deem controversial, and so he did. Okay, and our comment was that men don't want to date beautiful bums either. Okay, because a lot of times, and I'm a woman, ladies, I have a heart for women. I have a heart for women empowerment, like true women's empowerment, not that mean girl stuff that we see. And so I'm like, you know what? That's right. Because men don't, but we don't look at the conversation from the male side. We always look at it from the side of a woman. So, we thought it would be a great idea to come on and address some of your comments that was actually on the video, and do it in a live format so that we can have that real time and live discussion and engagement. And if you don't know the video that we're talking about, I will come back in and post a direct link right to it.
Well, one thing, let me address this from the door before we go into the questions and things like that. We have to understand common sense. And so for our brothers and sisters, we all are adults here. We're not talking about children who are dating anybody. We're all adults. Everybody's responsible for taking care of themselves once you become an adult, right? So if you're a woman, you go ahead on, you start your business, get a job, however you provide for yourself financially. You get your own place, you get your own vehicle, You do all this stuff for yourself, right? And the brother is expected to do the exact same thing. Why have we gotten it so confused where that what someone else does is supposed to affect us that much, especially financially? You understand what I'm saying? Because we don't pick our friends that way. You know, if you happen to be a NBA basketball star and your friend is an attorney, you might make more money than your attorney friend in the short term anyway. But you're not saying, well, he's a deadbeat because he's not an NBA player like me. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's the love. But when it comes to relationships, that changes. And this is the part I want to get to. Like, you know, I had a conversation, I had a live on my Instagram with my little cousin. She's 33 years old, and she said, you know, she didn't understand it. And I broke it down. So she was like, well, if I make this amount of money and a guy come in and don't make this amount of money, then he's gonna mess up my life. I said, how? I said, anything he brings to the table to what you have is extra. And whatever you bring to the table is extra for him. This is not my opinion. This is just common sense. Mm-hmm. Because again, if we start at the basis of if she makes 100,000 and she's taking care of all her bills with her 100,000 comfortably, she drive her own car, she's doing everything she can do with her 100,000. He makes 60 and he's taking care of all his bills and all what he's do comfortably. If you guys come together, if he say, okay, you paying $2,000 a month, he paying $1,500, and then now y'all come in together and y'all both paying $2,000. Well, his rent done went down and your rent done went down. Mm-hmm. Y'all both paying light bills. Her light bill went down, and you know, and then yours went down. Like everything is better, right? So how is it that everybody, like, depending upon who makes what, is affecting you negatively? Now I can understand that from a mental perspective, but like just doing regular numbers. And see, a lot of people are not starting from the space of I'm taking care of myself and doing the things I want to do for me. Mm-hmm. And a lot of women are trained in that space. Do what you need to do until you find a man to do it for you. Yeah. That's horrible. And this is a father of a daughter. I'm not going to tell my daughter outside of me to do anything until a man comes and do it for you. You have to do for yourself. So when that man comes in, he's extra. He's not the thing. He's extra. Because there's no way in hell brothers are making $100,000, and that beautiful bum that we talk about come in, and he's like, all right, well, I got to figure out a way to get her to make some money, you know, so that I can go on my trips. And he's not going to stop going on trips because she came. So where does this thing come from? So it's just kind of crazy. So I wanted to frame it in that space because that's where my disconnection is. And another thing, Eboni K Williams is not going to date a bus driver. That's what she should have said. She said she's not going to date the bus driver. She shouldn't have threw the caveat if he owns the bus, because that's not intelligent. She's very intelligent, but she wasn't in an intelligent space. And then, you know, doubling down the next day on putting other people down to make her point, or to just add, you know, adding all that extra stuff that didn't even matter. Like, if you don't want to date a bus driver, that's what. No, I don't want to date a bus driver. Right. No, I wouldn't. It doesn't fit who I'm looking for. And move it on. But doing all that other stuff is where the problem came in at. So.
And then, just as we've said, just off conversation, I'm gonna get to this in a second. So first, I want to acknowledge Giovanni is in the comments. She said she has a students listening, so that's amazing.
Oh, wow.
So definitely, if they have comments, you know, let us know, or questions, let us know. But one of the things that we've said off camera is that it's not the concern of who she would not date. Because, you know, that doubling down and that going back, that double talk, that's where it all went left. So that's good. But y'all ready for this? We better get into it. Okay. So the first question, Jay, this was a good one. It says, because this is the thing, right? The comments are, it's like black men against black women. And that's something that we're definitely going to be doing more addressing of. Is it's not us against the other, it's us against them. And so as a people, as a community, I think that that's definitely something that we need to adopt. So the first question was, why are you guys so mad that one woman doesn't want to date a bus driver? This woman did not tell black women not to date a bus driver. high income black men, this is it. This is good, Jay. High income black men do not date black women. We saw that a few times. Guys, stop all the trash talk. There's no shortage of black women for bus drivers. I'm not building any bus driver. So let's address that. The comment, high income black men do not date black women. Do you agree with that?
No, I don't agree with that at all. You know, um, do high income black men date white women too? Yes. Do high income black women date white men? Yes. You know, Eboni K Williams was engaged to one.
Mm-hmm.
Our vice president is married to a white man. You know, but you're looking at LeBron James married to his beautiful black wife.
Mm-hmm.
Dwayne Wade, even though I'm not really a fan of his wife, but you know, she's a beautiful black woman.
Right.
You know, a lot of our people that's on out in front, they do have black women that they're married to, but it's a money thing. It's not they don't like white women or what's it, and it's also who you around, proximity scenario. You know what I mean? So, and a lot of those guys that you see do that don't date black women. This is just my opinion, and you guys can fact check it for me if you want. But when I see a black man with money go and immediately get a white woman, and it's usually one of them guys that was off the porch. I mean, wasn't off the porch. You know what I'm saying? And like our sisters can be tough to deal with. You know what I mean? They're not docile women, you know. So when they go ahead and start, let me get around, they're making friends with these white people. They done went to one of these predominantly white schools and colleges, and they're around a bunch of white people. And so they meet a white woman, and that's that. And that's cool. That's who they love. That's fine. But it ain't, I don't believe it's a thing of malice. And it's the same thing with the athletes, it's the same thing with the women. When you working and you making millions of dollars, there's not a lot of black dudes in the corporate office with you right there. And so if you seeing Tommy that's across the hall, across the way from you, and he make the same amount of money and y'all kicking it and y'all vibing, I'm not hating on that. It is what it is. But I don't think that the women are doing it on purpose, and I don't think the men are doing it on purpose. I think that we keep pushing it like it's on purpose. So I think that that's just a false statement. I think that, you know, proximity, you be around enough white people, somebody gonna find you attractive, you're gonna find somebody attractive, and that's that, no matter what it is. And you know, I think we put a little bit too much on it. I think it was a couple comments within that same question.
Yeah, they
right?
were. Yeah.
What was the other one?
So the other one was, let me get to that. That why are the men so mad that one woman doesn't want to date a bus driver? And the other thing is, this person said at the end of their comment, is that I'm not building any bus driver.
Okay, so let me tackle the first one.
Yeah.
Nobody, I can't say nobody. Some people were mad at how she said it, right? I'll tell you, for me, I can care less. You know what I'm saying? Because I wouldn't expect her to date a bus driver, not because of how much money he made, because we could have made all the type of cases for this gentleman and how much money they make and how it can be good and all that other stuff. It doesn't fit her brand. It doesn't fit her brand, and which is BS in itself, because again, when you are a person, if she's a millionaire, let's just call her a millionaire, right? You don't need a man with money. Right. No person needs another person once they make millions of dollars for money purposes. You $400,000 in this country, you are in the top 1%. So you can split that up a couple times with $1 million, and you're still in the top 1%, right? So you don't need nobody. You have everything that you can need at a high level, not even low need, like survival need. You can live in any city in this country comfortably. You can feed yourself comfortably. You can take care of your kids, go on trips, drive with pretty much the car you want to drive. You know, after that, everything else is you're living in excess. And that's your right to do. But you don't need a man. A man don't need a woman, and a woman don't need a man. And it's crazy how when a man got $1 million, it's expected for the woman to show up. It don't matter what she do. She work at Pearson Pagoda and the kiosk in the mall. She's supposed to be okay. You know what I'm saying? If she doesn't work at all, fresh out of her mother's house or father's house, that's supposed to be okay. Money is money, and it doesn't matter who it is. But a person who makes $1 million does not need no help financially. It goes back to what I said in the beginning about the friendship. You making a relationship. So the relationship got to get the money out. She's good. So the bus driver is not going to affect her. She's just not going to date a bus driver because of how it looks. You know what I'm saying? So, and for me, my problem with her saying that, just like a lot of these things, when you have celebrities say stuff, it reverberates with the smaller community of regular people, as she call them, and average people saying, I'm following her footsteps. I'm not dating a bus driver. So let's go ahead on down, scroll on down to the last part. Who told you a bus driver was a bad career?
Right.
So the regular person, I'm not building the bus driver. I would love to know how much you make. Because if you live in a major city, see, because what bus driver are we talking about? We talking about the school bus driver, or we talking about the bus driver that drive for S.T.A.R.V.E if you live in Philly, or MTA if you live in New York, New Jersey Transit, where I came from in Newark, New Jersey, the BART in San Francisco. These are career jobs. These are, like real six-figure jobs. You can go from 60, $70,000 to over six-figure jobs with pensions and benefits for your kids and your spouses and all this other stuff. What? What are we talking about here? Yeah. And then, so when you look at the numbers about men and black people, period, it ain't that many people making six figures that you think. So I put in another video, the truth doesn't matter no more, because we're focused on things that's not true. We're focusing on things that's not true. We're not focusing on like, oh, okay, yeah, I don't even make six figures. How am I requiring somebody else to make six figures? I don't have the job security that this other person has, but I'm requiring him to do that. And then just the basis of what's behind creating a solid relationship is absent. It's starting off with, what do you have? Yeah. So what happens when somebody don't have that no more? Nobody has anything to say about that, because everybody goes up and down financially. But if a person is a good person, they're a good person. You know what I mean? If the person can protect you, they're going to protect you. If they're going to be there for you, if they make you smile, make you feel good, they treat you, that's thrown away from the relationships. And black people can't afford to look at relationships like that from that lens. They can't. We can ill afford to look at relationships from the lens of how much somebody has. That's ridiculous.
No, that's right. And I think, ladies, a part of the thing about this that upsets me is we think that it's our physical bodies and things like that is where we get our value, the thing that's going to hold together. Like, I don't know if you guys have ever seen like these gold digger clips on Instagram. Like, this is what that kind of reminds me of. Like, she can be talking to a regular guy that's walking down the street, and it's like, hi, how you doing? Just being nice. But she's so rude because she's thinking that he's either homeless or driving a raggedy car, whatever the case may be, until she sees the Ferrari that he gets into, until she sees the other two-seater that he gets into. And so then the conversation changes. But at that point, a high-value black man, no matter the career, the job, the car, the house that he lives in, whatever, doesn't want to have anything to do with you, not because of the money, but because of your attitude towards him and what's going on. So we just have to, and I'm glad that Jay and I are doing these. We'll be doing these things together because we need that balanced perspective that's missing from our community. So we're excited.
Yeah, it's and to touch on that, yeah. I showed you that the gold digger thing. It's, if I was in my 20s, it'd probably be something to laugh at, but it's mind-boggling when I see, what they do is real thing. And I got to make sure that this stuff is not just scripted, but because I pray that it is. Because to see what these sisters be doing, yes. Like I've seen sisters like literally go from, I don't want to talk to you, go to what, I'm gay, I don't like men. Go ahead. Didn't I tell you I know I don't want to talk to you? And he walk across the street, get in his car, and she run to the car. This your car? Oh, I'm going with you now. And ready to go and I haven't seen, these are black people doing it. So it's all black women. So one way or the other is not good. Even if it's scripted, you allowing it to be depicted that way. And if it's not scripted, Jesus Christ, that's tough, man. That's tough.
It really is. So someone said that black women are the only women expected to accept subpar men.
Again, what's subpar? Because he doesn't have money? Yeah. Or a certain amount of money? And then you can't call somebody subpar if you don't have more than what they have. Because again, it's the people who are having these discussions are like, we see the people on social media like the celebrities, but they are very small in number to the non-celebrities, the non-super successful women who are carrying a narrative. They might start it, but the conversation keep going on and on and on for weeks and weeks and weeks and months and months and months. And the real issues and the problems are happening with the women who don't have the money, who don't have it like that. They're not in position. And you're literally waiting on a man to put you in position. And that sucks because every person, man or woman, need to be in position on their own.
Correct.
This is why marriages are screwed, because when people are getting married, they're trying to line up with, with the person that is already good. But what are you bringing to the table on either side? Like, if a man gets with a woman who's already good financially, right? Now you got to start seeing what you can do. What else can you bring to the table if you don't have the finances? But it's expected of those other women as well as you guys. Now you're saying, because they're going out to the man who already got it. But it's okay. It's in other communities, that it has been said that as long as you give that woman your last name, he can kick your ass. He's dating the nanny and you're okay with it, or leaving you for the nanny once you have a few kids and your body's not still the way it's supposed to be. See, like, we don't leave y'all because y'all body not right. You know what I'm saying? Like, we know we gave y'all 3 kids and we wear that. You know what I'm saying? We wear that. Yeah, we hang on to yesteryear when you had the perfect breast and all that stuff look where it's supposed to be at, because even when our stuff is not on point no more, you know what I mean? Y'all hang on to us. That's what the love look like. But that's life cycles. Now, can we do better? Yes, we can do better and stay looking better, looking fit, and all that other stuff like that. Shout out to me, because I'm on a diet right now. But the point I'm making is, like, you're not building up anybody, and you have an expectation for you to take anybody less. First of all, I want you to have realistic expectations. Yes. Okay, this is why you got to have real dates. You got to actually get to know people. You got to stop when you meet a person. He looks good, she looks good, and we're going to screw tonight. Yes. And then, okay, you grown, you can screw whoever you want to screw, right? But take it further. You're going to screw tonight, but you're going to screw him at your house or at his house. So now you in the domain, right? So if he got a pipe down house that could be an Airbnb, or in a car that could be a Toro, now you in love because you visualizing how he can be there for you. But he realized that you fell for the Toro and the Airbnb, so he's not treating you right? But then even with that man, he's in his little bachelor apartment, and it's his apartment. Then he go to your house that's beautiful, and you rolling out the red carpet for him. He's visualizing how this can be if I'm up in this house right here. And that's just normal stuff. But you don't know each other. You don't know what each other came from, what you guys are going through. So you're not actually dating. So then when you start dating, really, okay, you're going to lunch. It's no sex after lunch immediately. If you're having dinner at 6 o'clock at night, 7, at a restaurant, not at your house, you get a chance to have conversations. Then if you do, as grown people, have sex, go to a hotel. Because somebody, you or him, should be able to afford $100, $150 to buy or pay for a room. But again, y'all understand what that is. But what starts to happen is, oh, he's at my house. He's in my domain. I feel comfortable. I feel safe. I feel protected. More importantly, to y'all, you got a good session in. So now, this is the man. Same thing on our side. Oh, she was amazing and she cooked, and I had peace of mind. I slept more comfortably than I ever slept in my life. This is just normal stuff. This is not bad person, bad man, bad woman stuff. This is what happens because we're not actually dating each other. We're not getting to know each other. You're not getting to know. You're not asking, hey, where you from? Not just throwing up your hood. I'm from. No, where are you from? Oh yeah, I'm from this side of town. How you grew up with your mom and your dad? Nah, man, my mom and my dad was strung out on drugs, and it was kind of tough for me. Oh, okay, yeah. So where'd you go to school? Yeah, I went to so and so, but I didn't graduate. And
I got a felony, and so I went through this, I went through that. And so when you find these things out, and I'm not saying kick that brother to the curb, but you know, like, okay, this is why he's working this job. This is why you're working this job. And even if you don't want to date him, you can actually be a blessing to him. You know what? In your mind, that's not for me, but this brother's trying. Hey, look, I got an application for you. I know somebody I can put you in position with. Because if you really actually being a friend instead of friend zoning because you don't want to screw him, but you're actually being a friend to somebody, you could have helped him out, do a curve, do him an alley-oop. He got a better job. Now, this is how you know if he a real good dude. Because if you throw him an alley-oop and he catch it and dunk it, you like, oh, 6 months later, he had a better job. He got a better place. He's doing me and him, he calls me all the time because he appreciates me showing him love and helping him. And he checks on me. He called me on my birthday and he actually got me something. He invited me to lunch because I got him a new job. This is a friendship. This is a relationship. Who told y'all because you pretty and you got some snatch?
Don't start them pretty.
And you got some snatch that you supposed to be taken care of from here to the end of your life. That's the craziest expectation. And then you're making 6 figures and you want somebody to take care of you financially. What you do all that work for? What you do all that work for? What you go get the super degrees and all that other stuff for? To sit home? That's weird. I'm gonna get all of them, get $200,000 worth of student loan debt to find a man to pay for it. That's weird. And we gotta get to the realistic portion of it. Like, no, I'm not setting my daughter up for that. I'm paying for my daughter's school, period. So she ain't gotta worry about that. So then when she go to school and she get all the degrees, if that's what she want to do, fine. She gonna go to work and take care of herself. The man she meet is extra. Because she's going to always have her. We got to start with the 100, not the 50-50. Everybody got to be 100%. Even the woman, not 100% until you find a man. Can't do that.
So you just said so much just now. That was just so rich. The comments are going crazy. We appreciate y'all. Keep checking in and sharing the love with us. But I just want to kind of take you back for a second. So I don't think this was the attitude of women from our parents' generation, right? Or before. So when did that change? What was that shift? Why was a man or woman working a certain job no longer good enough for the people that they were going to be in relationship with? Why did we start looking down on, people who were of a certain mindset? And that's, Eboni K Williams, she kept trying to say this, it came out wrong, but it was like skill set and things like that. Like, when did that become wrong for people to work a blue collar job, so to speak? And when did that change for us?
Janet Jackson, what have you done for me lately? No, seriously. Nothing going on but the rent. These are songs now.
Yes,
This is mid 80s, then late 80s, then in the 90s, TLC, No Scrub. Then later 90s, then is Can You Pay My Bills? You know what I'm saying? These are the things that happen. You know what I'm saying? And I can keep going on with the different songs,
Independent.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm all the single ladies.
Yep.
And Beyonce just had a song, Leave Your Job. She told you leave your job on one of the songs she just put out last album. So, and again, as these celebrities, women tell y'all what to do, y'all go do it. Y'all go do it. And y'all look at a good man that's not Jay-Z. Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce. She ain't go nowhere. She made an album, made some money, and still right there with him. But she in her song telling you leave him. Don't ever think for a second that you're irreplaceable. And what she said? You must know nobody. And see, y'all the ones, you must know nobody. She got $1 billion and she ain't go nowhere. Stop falling for the hoodwink. Stop falling for the hoodwink, man. She ain't stupid.
Nope.
How she gonna go get another Jay-Z? And see, what we gotta start thinking about it is, I told my little cousin, I said, think about who you are. Mm-hmm. How many jokers want to deal with you? Like, I ain't talking about if you pretty or not. Like, you come with some hell. And this dude is dealing with it gracefully. And he got to have a certain kind of job? Jesus Christ. Like, that's tough, man. It's just not realistic.
Dealing with a woman of, certain age or whatever, it doesn't matter about the age, but dealing with women, period, is a job. Because y'all know, ladies, come on, let's just be honest. We have our own stuff with us. We have our own issues, beliefs, our traumas, our baggage, things like that the good men in our lives have to deal with. And then let me just say something about that. Being a good man or being a good woman does not mean that you have to form an intimate level partnership with somebody. Like Jay was saying, you can just be a good person who wants to help and see somebody else get to their next level, whatever that means for them. So, and I think that that's something that we've lost. Like we don't know what it means to be a good person. We don't know what it means to have conversation like you were talking about with dating. We don't want to date and go to lunch. We don't want to date and go to breakfast. No, we want to go to the movies. We want to go to dinner, anything that's dark. So we don't have to deal with the conversation and the things that can come along with it. So once we're in a dark place, we start doing dark things, and then that leads us down a different space. And then here we are in a full traumatic, toxic situation that we never should have been in the first place, if we took the opportunity to get to know who we are and to get to know who the other person was. So just a few comments. Jana said that authenticity is key, which is great. We definitely believe that. And Gia said, think about who you are. We have to think about who we are. That's just a powerful point that you made.
Yeah, I mean, we all have to, you know what I mean? Like, so it's not exempt from the brothers. Sometimes you have some good women who piss you off, and you like, man, you be like, yo, I'm hell to deal with. And mine tell me all the time, she's like, the other chick can have you. Cause I know she's gonna give you right back. Because I'm a lot to deal with. I'm hell on wheels. And I know it. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, right? It is what it is. If you're going to, like, and when somebody say, oh, you about to mess up your household, it's not just you think about yourself, you're saying, wow, you're right. Am I gonna build all this back up again? Man, I do got it good. You know what I mean? It's just all going to be thrown away in one night. Right. It's going, like it goes on both sides, but it's been some bad teaching with our sisters. I grew up in a house with a bunch of women. My grandmother had 5 daughters, and she was one of the ones like, hey, make sure you got a job. Now she ain't, because they don't come from no big money and no money. So it was just make sure you have a job. But you got to see the lengths that they went through. If somebody had a job, it was dudes staying in and out of my house when I was growing up that we didn't know. They ended up becoming uncles of mine. They happened to be great dudes. But there's so many other staggering stories when they had the same situation where somebody would have been touched. Somebody kid would have been, molested or something. And I'm just grateful that wasn't the story in my household. But it was all because that man can stay here as long as he got a job. As opposed to raising my aunts and them to be independent like she was. You see what I'm saying? Like, I want the independence. It's not independent because you don't need a man. See, this is how you got to break that piece down, right? You have dependent, which is not good. Then you have independent, which is okay, and then you have what's called interdependence, right? So it's never good for a long period of time for anybody to be dependent on anyone. This is even why kids can only be dependent for so long on their parents. They have to go out and be independent. Nothing wrong with that. This is a cycle. Right. But when you meet your mate, you guys should be both equally independent, not equally financially independent in that space of wealth, because that all has stuff to do with a whole lot of other things. But I should be taking care of what I brought in. I got bills. I created my bills. I should be able to take care of my bills. You should be able to take care of your bills. Now we're choosing. 2 independent people are choosing to become interdependent with each other, meaning that I don't need you. I'm choosing to be with you. She don't need you. I'm choosing to be with you. Oh, it's so sweet when you get to when somebody choose you. And when you get to choose somebody, not because you need them, but you choosing them, that's a whole different situation. And so we're not thinking on that wavelength. It's automatically, I'm dependent on my mama, and then you need to work a little bit until you can find a man to be dependent on. And that sucks because we're not taught like that. We're taught to hunt, get all we can until we tired, then find a woman that we're going to just chill out with
for the rest of our lives. That's what we taught. And we taught to take care of her.
Yeah.
We're taught to do everything to protect. When things go bump in the night, we're gonna go out there. We're gonna be the one go out there and look at it. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? Somebody say something to you, we supposed to jump. We don't expect you to have to jump. That's a bonus. If you take out the trash, that's a bonus. More likely, I'm taking it out. You know what I'm saying? If you had to do it because I was out of town on business, great. But that's not what you do. But it's the interdependence. It's that choice because I'm good whether I got you or not. I choose to give myself to you in that space and to make myself vulnerable in certain situations to you and vice versa. We have to continue to teach that or start teaching that. You know, but every man and woman, our kids are supposed to take care of your own crap.
That's right. Yeah, they are. And so somebody said men do the same thing. They have their standards based on looks. Also, I'm sick of people, and this was something we hadn't touched on yet, who didn't put an effort into education, bashing it, because that was also one of the things that Eboni K Williams said. Is she talked about education and Black men not going to HBCUs at the same rate as women going to HBCU. So Jay wasn't speaking against education, but I'll let you address it. But two things: men have their standards based on looks, and that we shouldn't bash education for people who didn't put an effort into getting one.
That's a total lie. This is why I tell you it's a total lie. Mm-hmm. I'm from the hood. I'm from the real hood. I ain't just the person on social media talking about it. You got regular walking, upstanding dudes with jobs who will do a crackhead. This is grown folk talk. You ain't seeing no women doing crackhead men unless it's their husband that they didn't know, and then now they find out that, and that's something different. Yeah. But like these dudes that's knowingly, she's a crackhead, but she got a nice booty.
Keep it real.
This is real stuff. This is grown-up talk. So if it's a look thing, if you're saying that, then you're lying. You know what I mean? Dudes say, "Oh man, she got a body. All she gotta do, you chop off her head, she a dime." I'm sorry, that's stuff that has been said.
I heard it. Yes.
That stuff has been said. Women hide the dude that's not attractive enough for as long as she can. And then the only thing she said, they say, well, at least he got money. At least he got a good job. So let's stop acting like, this is for my people who, if you ain't from the hood, you ain't been around that type of situation, I get it. I get it. Dudes ain't like at an alarming rate with married women and having them taking care of them. But that at an alarming rate of women are with married dudes who are taking care of them. And you're choosing to do that because of the finances. So it's too many pieces of evidence that shows that women are putting themselves in those compromising positions over, money than it is with men. Right. Men are just compromising themselves, keep it real, because of that thing between y'all legs, as I eloquently put it, the snatch. And we haven't figured out how not to fall for that yet. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how it is. And it is what it is. But we came out of it. We've been trying to go back into it the whole life. And that's just the craziest thing in the world. But we don't know. We haven't figured it out. There it is. But y'all can easily say, I don't need your money. I'm good. You got a wife. And I'm not judging you. Yeah. I'm just telling you what it is. Yeah. I've seen this. I've lived it. I've been around this situation. So at the end of the day, that statement is just not true. What happens is, again, it's proximity. When these men start to get more money, they get around younger, beautiful women. Yes. So when you're an athlete, they're not letting the regular chick come in there. I live in Las Vegas. Certain, like they're literally having auditions for you to be bartenders at certain places. Yep. You know what I'm saying? They don't care how you pour no damn drink. They talking about how you look. Yes. And so when they come into that restaurant and getting bottle service or that place, that's who they see. They seeing that bartender. They're not seeing a 40-something-year-old bartender that pour drinks and nice and still cute. No, they're seeing this 22-year-old who they made sure she have certain weight requirements. Yep. She did all of this stuff. She's wearing the skimpiest things, and that's what it is.
And that's the truth. That's not this. These men aren't going out here searching for this type of woman. This is the woman that's in that access. You at the clubs, if you ever had some money and you've been to a club, they have the bottle girls and you got the service, they're hiring bottle girls. They're not hiring that young lady. They're not hiring the woman, you know, the 40-year-old, whatever. They're hiring the 22, 25-year-old that got the body and they're putting. So that's the one who they gave $100 tip to that night, $200 tip to, or took some shots with that night. That's who's being put in their face. That's just it. Now, if we, again, as I said in another video, if we can't deal with the truth, we in a whole world of trouble. Right. We are not, trust me, I've been a black man all my life. We are not out here searching for something other than our sisters or other than what's in front of us. We're not out here looking for that, especially as you get to a certain age. You're not looking. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. Oh boy, I tell y'all, are y'all enjoying this? Gia said hood talk, love it. Because, you know, growing up in the hood, and I grew up in that space too. Like I grew up in an alley, literally. I grew up on the street between two streets. And so everything that comes along with it, as Jay was talking about, like I experienced. My mom and dad with their own issues, you know what I mean? So things are right in my household. So it is different when you grow up in the hood. There are certain things that are connected to the hood that you don't find in any other neighborhood or environment growing up. And that's just the facts. Like we talked about it with the R. Kelly situation, but we're not going to go down that path. But, you know, that's something that you saw growing up in the hood, and you touched on that as well. So, you know, we just got to continue to have this conversation on both sides. It is very interesting, though, Jay. I find it that what's told to Black men is not the same thing that's told to Black women. And then there's just no, there's just nothing that bridges the gap between the two of them. So I think that we definitely are going to be a part of that, just from a joint empowerment space where we get to come on and share from both that healthy and balanced masculine as well as feminine perspective, because you do absolutely need both. Now, Eboni K Williams is just one woman. She does not speak for all Black women. But as Jay said earlier, if you guys didn't catch it, is that one woman with that platform and that level of influence can impact individuals that are going to be watching her, listening to her, following her, wanting to emulate her. Like, that's the dangerous part of just speaking something out of your mouth and not really considering the ramifications of that and how far that damage really can go. Now, she can backtrack and move on and still have her job and still do what she does, still date who she does. But the women that's going to follow her, that's going to be completely different for them.
So, nah, and then you just can't be lying. You know what I'm saying? Like, she should have just said, I won't date a bus driver, and moved on. And then, you know, should have been tough enough to take whatever Van Zandt was going to give her for saying that, take it on the chin and keep it moving. But instead, she went and started bashing, saying average. Oh, you talked about the education portion, right? Black men are not going to HBCUs or other colleges at an alarming rate like it was before, because we're starting to understand that if I'm 18, I can get a CDL license and immediately get $50,000 and not owe nobody nothing. Let me go do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, or I can go ahead and get this trade real fast and go ahead and do that. You know, like, it's why are we not celebrating us being knowledgeable? For years, parents just sent their kids to college all willy-nilly, knowing they couldn't afford to pay for them to go to college. But they sent them figuring that something will happen. They'll be better off some way, shape, form, or fashion. Now we're finding out through numbers, through data, as she said, that people are being stuck with student loans. Yeah. People being stuck with student loans. Like, and you don't know what, you know, you're going to do when you go there. And I'm one of those people. I was total juvenile delinquent. And college for me was a way for me to stay out of prison. And I went to college not knowing what to do. Came out owing $60,000, $70,000. My spouse went to the same college, came out owing $5,000. What was the difference? She had parents that went to college, and they was able to pay and help and put her in a situation to get scholarships, things of that nature. Not me. And what I'm doing, I didn't need to go to college to do. Now, the experience was amazing. I met some people that I fell in love with for the rest of my life. friends and family, community, all that good stuff, and that was dope. But financially, it didn't make no sense for me to make that move. Somebody should have stuck me in the trucking thing or HVAC, plumbing, something, because I did all the work anyway. I had like 80 jobs anyway, so at least I could have been at a different level. So I know for my kids, if they decide to go to college, because it's not a automatic for them, if that's what they want to do, fine. I'm going to pay for it, so they don't have to worry about that, and then we'll be fine. But Black people are not in position to just often send their kids to college. And the truth of the matter is, a lot of white folk aren't either. And as I've grown in my station in life, I'm around some of them, and they're saying, "Hey, I'm sending my child to the military first, and then they're going to come back to go to college, or I'm sending them to a tech school or a community college, and so that we can save some money and go." Like they're working on the same thing, but we're so bad with our people, and we're judging and so judgy, and then even we have parents who want to say my kid went to this school, no matter how it looked, and how much it's damaging your pockets. You know what I mean? Like, no, man, like it's all good, and we don't tell each other that. We don't say it's all good. We judge. We're very, very judgmental, and that sucks. So it's not about people having A's, B's, and C's and D's. We understand that even the school system is not set up for some people. They're putting our kids, if our kids show any, I suppose been on all the medication they had, because the way I was in school, if I came up 10, 15 years later, I'd have been on every piece of medication they had, because I made the noises in the middle of class for no good reason, and did what I did and talked to myself and did everything else. But they didn't have that. We had these blessed teachers who dealt with me, and some of them I still love and still respect to this day, and they still show me love. Because I never disrespected them, but I was a kid and I was bored and I tapped my foot and I banged on the desk and I made noise. I did all that. So when they get a C and a D, because they don't learn that type of way, but they're able to come out and produce at a high level, on their job. What are we talking about, sister? But again, this is our sisters saying, "Oh, I'm a professional student and I was able to do very well and you wasn't, so you're not better than me." And that sucks. Because I know people who have learned the school system and they can get straight A's, but they can't do shit outside of school.
That's right.
They haven't been able to perform at a high level outside of school. Because school is the only thing in this life that that the beginning and the end of. You know what I'm saying? The careers don't work that way. So if I do this, and I get 132 credits, I'm gonna graduate college. You can't say that about a promotion. You can't say that about how long it's going to take you to get a job. You can't say that about how long your business is going to take to grow to where it's making 6 figures or $1 million. You cannot do that. So at the end of the day, they lost, because they can't just do this thing and work the system, and now they got the straight A's. Life doesn't work that way. And so it's some negative correlation with that too. But of course, she's not going to talk about that because she got straight A's in school. But last thing I'll say, also, she told her story. You got to look at people's story. Right. If your background comes from your people had nothing on top of nothing and negative nothing, it's going to be a harder time for you to get to the millions unless you win a lottery. But you said you had a hardworking mother who had a certain amount of job and own her own business. So from that platform was built you. So when you meet somebody and you see that they don't have that type of platform, it's the only way that they can get there a little bit faster is partnering with a person like yourself. That's right. And if you love them, and maybe that same mother was with a dad who was drinking and whooping her behind, but he wasn't with that. He was with love, so he can bring the nurturing and the love of a man that you didn't see growing up to you, and you can show him how to make money, because he never stopped working. He's always working, but you can show him how to let me 10x you real fast. Not by giving you my money. What about the knowledge? But you can't teach him the shit you learned in school. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just the only way you can implement that is on your job. Mm-hmm. You ain't got no common sense. You just got book smarts. Mm-hmm. So that's why you're afraid. But we can't go take that book smart from you. You can have it. You can have it, because right about now, a lot of it ain't needed anyway. So this is what we got to get to, man.
As G has said, there are different routes to success. And your point about you know, what white families are doing or other nationalities and ethnicities are doing. What I took from that is that they're giving their kids the cheat code. Us in our community, and I have a son who just graduated college. In our community, we're not doing that. Like, our conversation is completely different with our kids. We still have the, okay, you're 18 years old, you got to get kicked out of the house mentality, which is completely wrong in my opinion. But that's, you know, something we can discuss at a later time. But there are different routes to success, and no one way is better than the other. As Jay said, it's a lot about proximity. It's a lot about what we see. I grew up, I didn't see things like that. He grew up in Newark, New Jersey. He didn't see things like that, or what he saw as success was a completely different lifestyle than what most people would deem it today. So it's just, things are just different. So again, we just got to continue to have healthy conversations, civilized conversations about these topics, so that we can continue to educate one another and bring it all together, because that's the only way that this is going to change. If we don't start talking about some of these issues, if we don't start coming together as, you know, and not seeing each other as the enemy, and I'm talking about men and women, black men and black women specifically, stop seeing each other as the enemy and realize that we are each other's answer, then this is not going to be any different. But Stephen said, shout out, it starts at home or some external support for teachers. He said, even if it's coaches and mentors. So we know, and what I took from that comment, Stephen, and thank you for that, is that we need each other.
Word.
Period. We need each other, period. No matter what capacity that we are serving in another person's life, we just need each other. And until we awaken to that realization, and until we really take that into our spirits and really dig deep into that and understand what it means for us, then we're going to continue to have folks going down this path. Jana says she would love to come on and discuss this with us, so we'll have to arrange that.
Yeah, for sure.
We'll have to arrange.
Yeah, that. I mean, the magic starts in the connection together, coming
For
together.
sure.
That's where the magic happens. You know, a lot of us are miserable being by ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, you start to see the brothers that's doing well, and now they get in their 40s and they don't have, you know, nobody to share it with, and they start feeling the way.
Yeah.
It just look bad. You know, I don't want to be in the club right now trying to, you know, like, I'm good on that.
You don't want the bottle service from the 22-year-old?
Nah, I'm good on that. You know what I'm saying? I'm good at, yo, you go so hard right now, 11 o'clock, you be like, oh, you feel like it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, oh, all right, time to go. Time to take it down on a Saturday. Like,
I know.
It's real, man.
Yeah.
So everybody got to have their time. You know what I mean? So, like, at this point, you're supposed to have somebody to, you know, kick back with and chill and let your kids rock out. Cats be in the club with their kids and all that other garbage. Like, y'all good. I'm good on that. You know?
Jana just said something really powerful, and we talked about this off camera. She said that we aren't taking account of 400 years of slave DNA running in our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
There are unknown areas that we need to be aware of, because we only want to look at our alive loved ones. And that's very good, Jana.
That's deep. That's deep.
Something we should dig into for
sure. You're absolutely right. And also, too, though, you know, our conquerors or, you know, colonizers, whatever, it's not all bad. Like, if they showed you how to win in this country, you need to follow it. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody knows their oppressor more than the people that have been oppressed by. And so, like, we got to pay attention to how people win. You know what I'm saying? Because I've ran into plenty of nice individuals. Not that whole thing. I got a couple friends no, I'm not even on it like that. But I mean, literally, like, this is where I get to go up, because once I start meeting somebody that don't look like me, then they take me more seriously. You know what I mean? They're giving me opportunities that other people are not. And this is real talk.
That's right.
So I don't have to sell myself. So, hey, man, I see what you're doing here. You should be over here. And I can't crap all over them, because hey, salute to you, because you showed me love, and you're gonna always get love for me. But you can learn from that. You can learn from them, and you can learn and stop saying what they doing and what they're not doing, because they're not physically restraining you from doing anything.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? We just got to get a new train of thought. Everybody want to be entrepreneurs. It's your privilege and your right. But come on, man, we need some people working as bus drivers, because somebody got to drive the bus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Somebody got to clean a house for yourself or working for a cleaning company. You know, somebody got to have things that we need. We don't need another business in here that your brother or your sister or your good friend got down the street, and you just starting it because you don't want to pay them. We don't need all that garbage. You know, you need to be creating businesses and opportunities that's going to change our community and change not just your life or your pocket, but for everybody. And as long as we keep trying to be selfish
and somebody put that up there earlier, some of my selfishness. As long as we keep trying to be selfish and creating things that doesn't matter, and we don't, because we don't want to go to work. Now our families don't have health insurance because you was getting it through your job and you ain't tough enough or understanding, smart enough to go and get it yourself and pay for it. Like, you know who you are. And that's what she was saying. Everybody, Eboni K Williams, and you need to just go get your own business. Everybody's not equipped for that.
That's right.
Some people are good at a thing and they can rise to the top and they'll be just fine. And you should be that. You should be that. You talk about watching what other people do. You look at Warren Buffett and Charlie Munger. Charlie Munger is 99 years old, worked for Warren Buffett. Now they're partners, but he's a billionaire, 99 years old, still living. But he had to be number 2 at some point with Warren Buffett. He could have easily been like, one of us was like, nah, man, he made $5 billion. And yeah. Nah, dude. Like, he understood playing number 2 still gonna get me where I need to get to. But we can't do that. You know what I'm saying? We don't invest in our people who have the vision, the true visionaries, the true people who are like, hey, I'm willing to take the risk. You know you're not willing to take no risk. You know you spend $50 in the wrong place, you're going to lose your mind. You're going to have a Fred Sanford moment. And you sitting there telling me you want to start a business. That's just wrong. Right. So, again, we got to stop lying and giving bad information and bad advice to our people, man. Like, oh, she won. You won, sister. But everybody ain't got to do it how you do it.
That's exactly right.
You know what I'm saying? I tell people all the time, get a job. And that seems contradictory because of who I am because of entrepreneurship. But I know this ain't for everybody. This ain't for everybody. And yes, I said this ain't for everybody because it's not. And I don't want you to go through that hurt, that hell. You know, I don't want you buying your Louis bags and all the stuff you're doing right now with your job. Please don't leave that job and not have no Louis bags and can't take your wife or your husband on a vacation for the next 5 years and you be in the type. It don't work that way. It ain't that sweet. I'm just gonna leave from this and be on to that. That kid that's in private school that you paying for with that job, keep that kid in private school while you doing what you're doing and find a way to do it. Or if you got a brother or that sister that got more of that in them, invest in them. Stay out of the way. Or that husband of yours, shout out to Kiki from Kiki's Chicken and Waffle. I love her story. You know what I'm saying? Her husband worked at a restaurant together. Then they opened their own. She went back to work. She worked for the government. He was running the restaurants. They were going back and forth. Now they on. Now they in real estate. They in everything. Like, she could say, oh, man, why am I working? And he trying to run the restaurant. They're millionaires now. And they look like us. And we got to tell more of them stories. Shout out to her. She was on I interviewed her. That's why I even told that because it's on, on one of my interviews. So, but shout out to Kiki for that because that's dope. Yeah. You know, they work together. Now they're millionaires, man. So, like, you got to do that, man. And it don't matter who's ever suited for what's going on right now. That's the person who should be up. Don't try to make me do something that you're more suited for because I'm the man. They need you. You go over there.
Yeah, but one of the other things that I wanted to say is that, the jobs that were mentioned, careers that were quote unquote looked down upon, these are jobs that our community needs. And, I'm often thinking about children and legacy and things like that. And I think about bus drivers that were around when I was going to school and how important they were to just be there to greet our kids in the morning, to know that they were going to get from wherever their stops were to the school and get there safely and have some conversation and things like that. Like, that's important. And it's like we're trying to erase that. We're trying to take that away when we know that this is something that our kids need. So we want to talk about, like Jana said, the village. That's a part of our village. And, we know that it takes a village, as we said, to raise a child. It takes a village for adults too, but that's another conversation. But, again, that's important to us. Like, those are pillars of who we are as a people. And we keep trying to erase that. And so, that's something that we can't do that. We got to understand that everything has its importance, right? Everything matters, especially to us as a people. And as we continue to grow and raise our children, some of us are raising our grandchildren and things like that. So that's just so important and so powerful. So we really, appreciate you guys coming in. Yes, Jay is definitely dropping some nuggets and some gems, as he always does. So
please subscribe to the YouTube page.
Yes.
S.T.A.R.V.E Talk. Go to youtube.com/S.T.A.R.V.E Talk. Subscribe to the YouTube page. Click the notification bell so that we can you can get this every day. We put stuff out every day. We record multiple times a day, all over, no matter where I am. So you're gonna get videos every day. We answer comments too, because this is what this started this video about, the comments. So we're in the comments. We're again, this is something that I felt was needed, and I'm not the type of person to wait on somebody else to create it for me. Let's have this discussion. Let's talk civilized, and let's and again, you can disagree with me. I'm open to that too. Let's come on. Let's have a conversation. Let's have a discussion. Let's get understanding from both sides. But one thing I will say is two things can be right. So we have to understand that. My opinion is not the only opinion. Yours is not the only, and two can be right. But also we have to agree on the truth. Because I can't, if we can't agree on what's true, we don't need to have a conversation. I'm done with those conversations. Like, people literally are like throwing the truth out the window. Like, they don't even want to talk about what's true, what's the actual fact that can be proven. I'm good on those people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'd rather focus on the truth. And then, we do have some opinions, but and two things can be true at one time. Sometimes three things can be true. You know what I mean? But we have to be respectful enough to understand that. That's the only guidelines for my conversation. So we have a conversation. Let's do it from that space, and we'll go from there.
Well, so make sure that I put the link in the comments for you guys to subscribe to the S.T.A.R.V.E Talk YouTube channel. If you have not already, please share that link with someone else that needs this type of content that we're sharing. So we're definitely digging into today's topics. We're digging into things controversial. We're talking about relationships. We're talking about business, all of the things that are important to us. And if you have a topic or a question, you can send it to our Facebook page and put it in our DMs or whatever, so that we can address your question or your comment live on camera as well in one of his videos. So we're going to be producing these. I don't know, how often should we do a live stream?
I'm gonna do it regularly. And if you, like Jana says, you want to get on with us, please, let's do that too. So I'm open to that. So let's get
and
that.
We welcome it. We want to smoke.
Let's get that situation set up with Jana ASAP. Definitely Gia. Big sis, congratulations on your retirement. Yay. Looking forward to chopping it up with you soon about what's next, as well as the community and what we got going on, because you are a happily married woman, been down the road in the career as a civil service individual, and how important it is, this type of job, what retirement looks like, what a successful career like yours looks like, because we need to highlight those more than the garbage, because it is very successful marriages and relationships and careers. And even successful don't mean that they got to still be together. They could have been together, divorced, got 3 kids, and they're working together and making sure everything is good. Those people cool too. I want them too. You know what I mean? Because everybody, sometimes you grow out of people, but that don't mean it got to be negative all the time. So we need to show those type of situations and be on point, but not from a biased perspective. I hate these little shows and these, super dude out and women out. Nah, we together on this, man, because we need each other. Literally. If you're a good woman, a man needs you. Right? And if you're a good man, some woman needs you. And fight and all the other situations too. However that goes. I can only speak about me, but I'm open to whatever conversation, again, as long as we had a space of respect.
And one of the things that Jay said in his recent book, Business Corner, get that if you don't have it, iwon'tstarve.com. One of the things that he said in that book is that there are 2 things. You can learn from the people who won and were successful, or you can learn from the people who did not win, who was not a success. You can learn from both of those individuals. So it's the same thing with us. You can learn, like he was talking about relationships. You can learn from the people who had a healthy relationship. You can learn from the people who had a not so healthy relationship. There are lessons to be learned on both sides. So that's where being open-minded and being willing to have the conversation comes in, because that gives us an opportunity to even challenge our belief system, right? To even challenge our ideologies, to even challenge the way that we think, which is what it's all about, developing and continuing to grow to be better people so that we can have positive mindsets going forward. So congratulations again to you, Gia. I've been keeping up with all your posts and your teas and your luncheons and all the things we do when we are retired.
She big chilling.
She definitely is. We're such an amazing, had a successful career in law enforcement. You know, one of the that was brought up in the conversation. So this is just amazing. So we definitely have people that we know will be invited guests on in the immediate future. So I'll be reaching out to get you guys scheduled and on program. Any final comments before we go, Jay?
Nah, much love to everybody. And thank you guys for coming on with us. And again, we will be doing this regularly. It's not going to be like once a week. It's going to be like probably 2 or 3 times. And that's just how it is, because we record all the time and stuff is happening on a regular basis. And my goal is to be in front of it and live out, realistic narrative, not trying to allow my people to have days and days and weeks to digest that garbage without getting some positivity into it and some realness into it. So I'm not going to sit back and allow that to happen, not on my watch. So I'm gonna do the best I can to be on as many times as possible, as well as creating other content that will get there. But again, we've been posting for years now, different platforms. But on this one, every day, every single day, stuff is up there multiple times. So it's something. If we haven't knocked, as they say in church, if we haven't knocked on your door yet,
we're coming down your street.
Yeah, we coming down your street, and let us know. Maybe we didn't get there fast enough. Say, hey, we need to. Okay, what you think about this, bro?
Yes, yeah.
And I promise you, if you know me, text me, inbox me, hit Tamika, whatever. Say, hey, bro, I want you to give me your content about this, and I would tag you in the video. I would tell you your name. If it's something we got to keep going. I might put like a 5-minute video out, but if you feel like you want to go deeper, come on, we'll do a live. We'll do a live and we'll talk about it, and then we'll go from there. But I'm open to all of that. So let's make that happen.
Yeah. So and for the people who asked, for those watching on YouTube, yes, Jay is married. They were like, you can't be married. He is married. Just because he's married doesn't mean that he can't have an opinion about this.
See, and another thing too, I actually got one of the marriages you want, because my wife don't bother me and I don't bother her. And we haven't bothered each other. We've been together since we were kids. You know what I mean? So she's not worried about nobody and I'm not worried about nobody. I got to go out here and be the man I need to be. And she's not going to prevent me from doing that, and vice versa. And my opinion doesn't change. I don't mistreat her. Right. I do what I'm supposed to do for mine, and I always have. So at the end of the day, I can speak freely. I don't have to be, I wonder what she's going to say. So sometimes she don't even know what's going on. She's just too busy doing what she do. So it is what it is at the end of the day. But yeah.
That was so crazy. I was like, what does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Anyway.
Because, sometimes, these dudes these days be held up, they probably threaten them. You can't say that like, look.
Oh, they think you're bitter?
I don't know what it is. Maybe I am. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is.
That's funny. Gia says, if your schedule permits, maybe you can roll down to the retirement party. Okay.
Oh man, yeah. Let us know. We close by now. I look forward to that.
We can party all the time. Party. Okay, I'm about to go.
Yeah, please.
But anyway, listen.
Have a good one, y'all.
We love y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Again, Jana, I'll be reaching out to you to get you scheduled. Gia, I'll be reaching out to you to get you scheduled so we can come on and chop it up and
get
have
information about that party.
Yeah, and get information about the party. Okay. And then, that's it. Subscribe to the channel. Check out the merchandise. Somebody brought up about your House Washington logo. So I put the link in there for Jay Haleem Apparel. So check that out. IWon'tStarve.com for Jay's books. For his I Won't Starve merchandise. It's springtime, ladies. We got tank tops in different colors to go on and cop one of those. So you can, dress it up or dress it down, whatever you want to do. Much love. We'll see you guys next time. We'll see you in our next live video.
Peace, y'all.